Start recording. Okay. All right, the court is calling cause number 2020 DCM 3133. This is a hearing on a motion or petition filed by the Attorney General's office entitled A Suit Affecting Parent-Child Relationship with an Acknowledgement of Paternity. Parties in this case are George Rojas and Penny Crane, who are before me. This matter was initially scheduled for 1 o'clock today, December 17th, and scheduled for a Zoom hearing at 2:15. It is now 2:45. Mr. Rojas has not appeared. Record should reflect that he was served with citation, having been served back on September the 18th here in El Paso, Texas. There appears to be no response filed by Mr. Rojas. And at this time that the case is being called for a hearing, he is not present, has not made an appearance at this time. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the Associate Judge for the Title 40 Court here in El Paso, Texas. And we are appearing on this Zoom application since we cannot appear in court and have in-person hearings because of the current pandemic crisis that's going on. However, the courts have allowed us to conduct remote hearings, and we're doing so in this Zoom application. This matter is also being live streamed channel that is to comply with the Texas rules that we have to keep courts open to the public. However, as soon as we finish this hearing here today, that live stream will be taken off the YouTube channel. Further, I'm recording the evidence on the computer recording system. That is the official record of this proceedings here today. I will advise that parties that I am conducting this hearing, we are in court, and so I expect parties to conduct themselves accordingly. Since we're dealing with computers, sometimes it's difficult that two people are talking at the same time, so one has not to talk over each other so that we can have a complete hearing on this matter. All that being said, then, I'll ask the Attorney General to make an announcement on this case. Ms. Kaplan, ready to proceed?
Lindsay Kaplan for the state of Texas, Your Honor, ready to proceed at this time.
And Ms. Crane, are you ready to proceed at this time too, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, if I can have you raise your right hand, ma'am, please. I can swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, you can lower your hand. Thank you. All right, Ms. Kaplan, go ahead.
Your Honor, the state offers the acknowledgement of paternity at this time for in-camera inspection only.
All right. All right, as soon as I receive it on my email system, I'll take notice of it. I'll go ahead and for the time being, let you go ahead and proceed on that basis. Go ahead, Ms. Kaplan.
The state calls Ms. Crane as a witness.
Okay.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Penny Crane.
And who are you the mother of?
Genesis Silvana Rojas.
And who does she live with?
Myself.
And how old is she?
She is 14 months currently.
And how long has she lived with you?
Since she was born.
Live in El Paso, Texas?
Yes, ma'am.
And who is Genesis's father?
George Philip Rojas III.
Has there ever been any family violence between you and Mr. Rojas?
Yes, ma'am, when she was 3 months old.
And for that reason, is it in your best interest and your child's best interest for your address and other information to be kept confidential?
I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Give me.
Would you like?
One moment, I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you want your information kept private, ma'am?
Yes, please.
And would you prefer to make all major educational and healthcare decisions for Genesis?
Yes.
Does Mr. Rojas visit Genesis?
Not at my residence, but at his own.
Where do you go to exchange Genesis for visits?
I either meet him at a movie theater or I take her to his house, or sometimes he'll have to come get her, just depending on the circumstances.
And is there an address of a movie theater that's convenient for you?
Yes. Give me just a second. Let me see.
And is that address 8300 Gateway Boulevard East, suite number 300 in El Paso, Texas, zip code 79907?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
And that's the AMC Classic Movie Theater.
Yes, ma'am.
And is Mr. Rojas currently working?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know how much he earns at his job?
11 hourly and then plus whatever commission he makes off sales.
When did he start working at this job?
I would say roughly 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I'm not completely sure.
Do you know if he's made any commissions since starting his job 3 weeks ago?
No, we don't communicate, we don't talk or anything like that.
Is it a full-time job?
I would want to believe so, yes, ma'am.
And when did you separate from Mr. Rojas?
The first, October 3rd, 4th, or 5th, the beginning of October.
And has he provided support for Genesis since the separation?
The first 2 weeks, yes. Since then, no. And whenever he would provide anything, it wouldn't be money. It would just be like a box of diapers and like some wipes. But since that, no, he hasn't given anything. Or
Does he have any other children?
yes, ma'am. He has one son.
How many?
One.
Is that son is younger or older than Genesis?
Older.
Does that son live with him?
No.
Is he quartered to support that son?
Not sure.
Do you have health insurance for Genesis?
Yeah, she's under Medicaid right now.
Do you know if Mr. Rojas has health insurance for Genesis?
What was that, ma'am?
Does Mr. Rojas have health insurance for Genesis?
No.
To your knowledge, is Mr. Rojas working full-time?
Yes.
When you separated, was he also working full-time?
Yes.
How was he employed when you separated?
He was employed under a contracting job. I'm not sure who it was with.
And
He was doing construction.
did you know how much he earned at that construction job?
I believe it was $12. Or I believe like maybe 11 with some change close to $12.
And do you have any plans to move for work or educational purposes?
Maybe in the future, but as of right now, no.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. All right, for the record, the court did receive the acknowledgement of paternity. I've reviewed the acknowledgement of paternity that was signed by both parties. It does appear to be in proper form, signed by both parties, and it does. So at this time, the court will take, I'm going to go ahead and take judicial notice of the acknowledgement of paternity. It does appear to be in proper form. Okay. Do you have any other questions for Ms. Crane, Ms. Kaplan?
No other questions for Ms. Crane at this time, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and appoint Ms. Crane sole managing conservator the child. The will grant a non-disclosure,
Yes.
and there'll be no geographical restriction. Um, do you is I'm assuming that you and Mr. Rojas can work out visitation, or at least have been able to work out visitation without any real problems, or is that is there a dispute as to the visitation, how that's supposed to handle? How do you work it out that he can visit with the child?
Normally on the weekends he'll come down or we'll meet or arrange however the situation be, just depending on his transportation. But normally he would get her Friday through Sunday, and then whatever hours that he wants to give her back, that's whenever we meet. But normally we don't have any issues with that. And it's normally just like whenever whenever I have to ask him something or whatever the case may be, where I have to get in contact with them, that's when usually there's like an argument or him not wanting to be civil enough to exchange the answers that I need. So
Okay, but I heard that you wanted to make the exchange at some other place, not at your home. Is that right?
yes.
Okay, and you suggested at that movie theater that you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, that's fine with the court. As long as y'all can work out the visitation at some neutral place, that's fine with the court. Let me see what else. Is there anything I can do? Okay. Child support obligations, what is the state's recommendation, Ms. Kaplan?
Your Honor, based on Ms. Crane's testimony that Mr. Rojas started a job earning $11 an hour and that employment is believed to be full-time, the state has calculated child support to be $278 a month. This calculation does give credit for the other son that Ms. Crane stated Mr. Rojas had, as well as giving credit for a prorated $86 cash medical to reimburse for the government insurance for the benefit of Genesis. The state is requesting that Ms. Crane continue to apply for maintaining the government insurance for Genesis. The state has further calculated a retroactive child support judgment from October 3rd of 2020 until today, December 17th, 2020, based on Mr. Ross' previous employment earning $12 an hour as a construction worker. The state has calculated a guideline child support amount with giving credit for his other child to be $302 a month. For the past 3 months of October, November, and December, the state has arrived at a total retro judgment of $906. The state is further requesting that this judgment be repaid at $25 a month beginning January 1st, 2021.
Okay. All right, the court will follow the recommendation setting child support medical support as recommended, and also granting a judgment for retroactive support also is recommended, and payment on that judgment as recommended. All payments to commence on January 1 next year, 2021, and all payments to be made through the registry of the court through the state disbursement unit. Okay. Is there anything else, Ms. Kaplan, that court has not ordered?
Just to clarify, Your Honor, visitation is exclusively as mutually agreed by the parties, or should there be a visitation plan as a backup option?
As agreed upon by the parties, at some neutral place.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Having
Excused, Your Honor.
Genesis.
Frozen. Okay. All right. Send me the order, Ms. Kaplan. I'll sign it. And once I sign it, it will be filed with the clerk's office and copies will be sent to the parties. Okay. Unless there's anything else, that concludes our hearing. Parties are excused. Thank you, Ms. Crane.
Thank you.